My name's Melissa Avera, and I love being a realtor. I specialize in real estate in the DFW and surrounding areas, and I also grew up here, so I'm very familiar with the Metroplex. Buying or selling a home can be an extremely stressful task, so I really try to go the extra mile to take that stress out of my clients' hands.
This is Going the Extra Mile. Now, from Frito Nation Productions in the Caddo Office Reimagined Studios, here's Melissa.
Hey everybody, today I'm going to get straight to the nitty gritty. If you are in the market to buy a house, this podcast is for you. This is about how to win a deal in this crazy market that we are in right now. Things are just insane. We're still in a massive inventory shortage, and there's way more people trying to buy houses than there are homes available. It's just crazy the number of offers I'm getting on listings. After reviewing 50 offers on one listing and seeing what people are offering, and then I also represent a good amount of buyers, I want to talk to you today about what you need to do if you're serious and you really want to be aggressive and try to get a home under contract. So the first thing is pretty obvious. If you know you're in a multi-offer situation, which almost any house that's nice and priced right is going to be, you're going to have to go significantly over asking price. Like $5-10 is not even going to come close. A lot of people, that used to be the case. Like what I was seeing a couple of months ago was, 30 to 50,000 over were the people who had a chance. And depending on the price point, that might still get you in the top 5 out of 50 offers. But I just listed a luxury home last week, and I've received offers for $200,000 over asking price. And, and not just that. So it's one thing, you can't offer more than you can afford, right? Because that's fraudulent, right? But in order to even have an opportunity of getting a home under contract, you're having to go significantly over. And with that, you have to include the appraisal waiver. And I've talked about this before, but there's two aspects on that appraisal waiver. There's a partial waiver and there's a full waiver. And I've had buyers win deals with the partial waiver, but if I have the listing and I have 50 offers and 10 of them have a full waiver and the others have a partial, well, the full waiver people are always going to be the top, because that's pretty much saying no matter what the house appraises for compared to what you're offering, that you will make up any deficit. And it's not ideal. I hate for my buyers to have to sign that, because it's pretty much stating you have unlimited funds. And I honestly don't know too many people who have unlimited funds, but that, just to be completely transparent and honest, that's what you have to do. And it's not just about the numbers. There's so many terms that can be written into a contract that will make or break a deal. And the other just insane thing I started to see over the last month, you have two things in a contract. It's called your option period, and you have to put up option money. And what that does is, say you have an option period of 5 days or something. Normal, in a normal market, it's 7. And that gives you time, once you get the home under contract, to do your due diligence, to have a home inspection done, to negotiate any repairs. If you just flat out change your mind and decide you don't want it, you can back out, right? And the only thing you're losing is that option money that you've put up, which normally that would be if a house is, $400,000, some people might put $400 option. So it's not a lot of money, but still, nobody wants to just really piss away $400 for nothing. Well, now it's gotten so nuts where people are putting up, $10,000 or more, $50,000 I've seen, option money. That's insane. And the earnest money, which is another thing you have to put up, that's normally 1% of your offer price. So again, if it's $400,000, $4,000 earnest money. And now people are doing, again, crazy, $40,000. And all of that credits or goes towards the loan or the cost of the home. So I mean, if you can afford it, do it. I mean, that's really what it's taking. A lot of people just, like, I work with a lot of first-time buyers, and they're strapped for cash. They can't compete in this stuff. The other thing is, I mean, you just have to move so fast. Like, there are homes that are advertised as, say, coming soon. Like, a lot of times I'll advertise my listing as coming soon on a Tuesday, and then it goes live on a Thursday. And I'm seeing, like, pretty much the home never even goes live. People will just see it as coming soon, and they're like, I don't even need to see the house. The owners won't let me see it, but I'm just going to go ahead and throw in an offer for $100K over and see if they'll just sell it to me and never even let anybody else see it. Like, that is happening. And people are taking deals because they don't want to deal with, 100 people coming through their house, or there's the people who are like, well, damn, if this person's willing to give me $100,000 more, what are these other 50 people going to do? Right. So, I mean, you have to just be on point. Like, as soon as you see something, and I always tell my clients, if you find something you like, I do my absolute best to show it to you as quickly as possible. Otherwise, I mean, you snooze, you lose in this market. The other thing to point out is, if you have a home inspection, which I highly advise everyone to get one, whether it's a brand new construction house, because they're going to find things that are wrong. But even in this market, like, pretty much you're going to kill a deal if you ask for repairs. I mean, there's certain things that can be reasonable. Like, if a home inspection's done and there's, like, active plumbing leaks that are causing issues, or mold is growing, or the roof is shot and you're not going to be able to obtain insurance, or like something that's clearly like a safety hazard, most of the time sellers will realize, like, hey, we didn't know this was happening, and we do need to fix this in order to sell it to anyone, not just this person. Because no seller wants to go through like 5 contracts on a house. They just want to get it done. So literally ask for nothing. If that's possible, just get the inspection done so that for your own knowledge that, okay, there's $10,000 worth of stuff that needs to be done here, and it's stuff that can be done over time, just so you know what you're getting yourself into. The other things that can add up, it's like people always just look at the number, like, oh, what's their offer, right? Well, the other thing for buyers to consider, and in this market, all buyers, you need to offer to pay for the owner's title policy. If the seller doesn't have a survey of the property, that's something that's going to need to be obtained, and you need to offer to pay for all of that in a contract. And that just makes your offer that much stronger. Again, it kind of depends on the size of the lot, of what the survey would cost. If you have a lot of acreage, it's going to be more than just a single family home on a normal size lot that might cost like $300 or something. And then the other thing that is happening so much right now are, people are selling their homes, they're putting them on the market, and they're selling immediately. And then the seller's like, hey, I need a 60-day lease back for free so I can figure out where the hell I'm going to go, right? And, and people are gladly giving it. Like, again, a listing I just had, I pretty much said we won't even consider offers unless you include a 60-day free lease back. And this was on a high-end home. So, I mean, the mortgage payment could easily be $5,000-$6,000, right? So that's more, right, that the buyer's having to contribute. But I mean, when push comes to shove, that to me is just touching the surface of what you need to do to actually be aggressive and have any opportunity to win. Because honestly, if you're going in at asking price or just a little bit above, and you can't include an appraisal waiver, and their multiple offer, I mean, not to be Debbie Downer, but you're probably not gonna have much of a chance, and there's definitely hot areas compared to others. Like, I mean, Collin County, Denton, County, Frisco, Plano, all these places, where schools are good. It's just, they just go faster. So those are just definitely things to keep in mind, and make sure you're working with a realtor, to help you guide you through this process, because especially if you're a newer buyer or if you haven't bought a home in 20 years, these are things you wouldn't know necessarily to do. Everybody just gets, like I said, fixated on the number. And there's so much more to it than just that. And I get people all the time like, do I need to write the love letter? Do I need to write? And I laugh, like if that's something you want to do, go for it. I don't see it's hurting your cause, but I will say as a listing agent, when I have 50 plus offers on a home that I'm sifting through, I'm not reading 50 love letters. Sure, I will forward them on to the buyer, or the seller, my client, but they're likely not going to read them either if they're getting that many. So you just always want to put your best foot forward. So many people still have the impression that, oh, I'm going to make an offer on this house, and I know it's probably not, I could go higher or I could do a better offer, but they're calling for, highest and best. So I'll re-up, make it better later, or they'll come back and counter. And that's what certain people, I'm like, nobody's coming back really and countering like they used to. Like if you were the only offer and they were like, okay, this is my only offer, I want to entertain it, it's not bad, but I'm going to come back and counter on these 3 things and see if we can come to an agreement. That's not happening. So, you have to put yourself in the position of, how are you going to feel? Are you going to be pissed at yourself if you lose out on this because over $1,000, or because you didn't offer to pay for the survey? So whatever it's worth to you, just always put your best foot forward, because you're not, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to have an opportunity to come back. And I just had this happen last week where a guy put in a very solid offer on a home, and then he missed out on it. And he was mad that he missed out on it, even though I was like, this is what you need to probably go in at to have a chance. And then it was like, well, can we do a backup offer, and I'll raise the price $300,000? Well, yeah, but now you're a backup offer, and you may not ever come, if the first deal doesn't fall apart, you're not going to come into first position. So like he's having that regret, like, damn, I wish I would have just done this before. And it's a hard lesson to learn. So that's just why I want to reiterate, like, don't wuss out on it. Just go in guns blaring with the best you can do, because that's just what it takes. And again, make sure if you're financing something and you're signing that appraisal waiver, make certain that whatever number you put on there is a debt. Like if it's a $50,000 or $100,000 swing, that you have that money in an account that you can legitimately cough up to make up any kind of shortages. Because if you don't have that, and the other thing that's happening is so many buyers, like, people are getting desperate, I feel like, because, now everything crazy in the world, right? Russia and rates going kind of nuts. So there's a lot of fear buying. I think Eric and I talked about that, my lender, on another episode. So people will be like, see 6 houses and want to put in 6 offers. And they can't buy all 6 houses, but they just want to see what sticks. And I don't think that is very ethical. But at the same point, I see why people, they're just like, I need a place to live. Like, this is what it's come to. And so, and my other piece of advice, if you are a first-time buyer, or if you don't have a bunch of cash to compete in this market, you really, really need to buy now. Like, buy sooner than later, because everything is so, volatile right now. And by the quarter 4 of this year, rates definitely will have gone up enough to impact people who don't have a lot of money. And so it's like if they're going up 1%, that's going to completely take people out of the market. So that's why I'm really trying to push my first-time buyers or, again, people who don't have a bunch of cash to try to lock something in sooner. Otherwise, you may be stuck at apartment living for another year or two. And, I know most people are trying to get out of that situation. I mean, I've said this on an episode too. It's like, guys, if it's a kind of a weird time because it's obviously a seller's market, but it's also a buyer's market because it's a good time to buy because of rates. Like, buy before everything goes up, and home prices are going to continue. I mean, 6 months from now, you buy something today, you're going to have equity. It will have appreciated, so you're not making a bad investment. But for people who are on the fence, like I have a lot of clients that are, like, say their youngest kids graduating high school this year, and now that they don't need the big house, right? So they're like, I want to sell it now because spring, summer is the busiest time, right? More people move. They want to be settled before school starts. So my advice for you sellers is, if you are serious, do it before the end of the summer because you will capitalize on it. And, I think once rates go up, people who have money or some of these luxury buyers, it's not going to impact them a ton. But for the, $300,000 to $500,000 range, a lot of those people will drop out of the market, and there's not going to be as many active buyers once that changes. So just things to keep in mind. If you guys have any questions about buying or selling, or any questions specific about an area or the market, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'm happy to help any way I can.
If you have questions about buying, selling, renting, or investing, don't go at it alone. Reach out to Melissa at 214-280-4317 or melissa@melissamovesdfw.com. You can find out more about the Melissa Avera Realty Group at TVG by visiting melissamovesdfw.com. Thank you for listening to Going the Extra Mile.